Hello, this is Chops, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about the lore of the Android universe. In this episode, we're going to talk about a character that has a minor role in the Android board game, shows up several times in the Identity trilogy, and has a fairly significant side character role in Freefall. However, in Netrunner, I've only seen her in the opening paragraph of the rulebook. I'm talking about Lily Lockwell, who is a top-notch roving reporter for NBN, and she also writes articles for the New Angeles Soul news rag. The NAPD often refer to her and her peers as news nosies, since they are always showing up at the crime scenes, doing whatever it takes to get the scoop. Her given name is Lilith Ramon, but changed when she transformed into a high-powered media star. She has auburn hair with medium height and trim. I don't really know much more about her personal life, except that her and Detective Rick Harrison were once lovers. She has a reputation of never backing off a story as long as there are a credit account with her name on it. She doesn't pull any punches when interviewing important people and is expected to ask the hard questions. NBN has a hefty bankroll which she uses to help loosen up sources, but she's also very good at reading a person and leading them to reveal things about a case. In the board game, you can visit her and spend some time talking about the case. In exchange, she'll give you a bit of information of her own, as she likes to keep her sources happy. She wears a tiny high-def monocam over her left eye, which is always ready to catch the news. It can record interviews from her perspective and transmit live feeds to NBN headquarters. In a certain action scene in Freefall, she's seen popping it on and speaking quietly to it, recording every detail of the event. Additionally, news nosies use small disc-shaped camera drones to get other perspectives, and sometimes shots during active crime scenes like a hostage situation. Reporters like her also use hollow-image reconstructed crime scenes when reporting, and are superimposed into them as if they were actually there. Holographic images are also used to show perpetrators and victims, recreating the scene for the audience. Additional embellishments are also added for dramatic effect, like in one instance the tattoo of a deceased perp came alive and was stalking towards the camera. Lily is also equipped with a high-end pad with lots of bells and whistles like enhanced holographics. In Freefall, it is seen used with a feedback hand film that coats your hand with a layer of nanoprocessors that trigger nerve endings to create the illusion of pressure. So that's all I have about Lily. It's only a matter of time before she shows up as a card on Netrunner, maybe in San San or in the first NBN big box. However, I can't wait for that for this episode, so I thought it'd be cool to do something a little different and invent a card for her to build a deck around. I've had a few ideas, but I've settled on one that is designed to really turn the runner's resources against them. Lily Lockwell is an employee of NBN, so I would expect her to be a yellow card. They have already established a unique asset type for NBN in CAS, so I think it'll make sense to make her a unique cast asset called Live with Lily Lockwell. I'll give her 3 influence since she is loyal to NBN, but can be persuaded to pursue a story with enough influence. I think the cost of 2 with a trash cost of 3 is fair for what I want her to do. So the first line of the card is, if the runner is tagged, they cannot use resources. Keeping in mind the latest definition of using, so a card with passives would still function. The second line of the card says, after runner uses a resource, trace 2 is successful, give the runner a tag. So the way that would work is if the runner is not tagged, and they need to use resources for whatever reason, they're going to be taxed with a trace 2 and end up with a tag, or they can just choose not to use the resources. And I think that's balanced because the runner still has control over whether they're getting tagged or not. So functionally, sure, if the runner is tagged, you could just trash the resources for 2 credits and a click, or instead, if you have this card, you can install it for 2 credits and a click and effectively shut down everything at the same time until they clear that tag or find a way to trash her. And again, I think it's balanced because once you do trash her, everything comes back online. So I built this deck around the custom card with the flavor that NBN is on a manhunt to ruin your runner's reputation. Alright, well thanks for watching.